Have you had your morning coffee? I hope it's morning when you're watching this, otherwise that's going to be a really dumb intro. Alright, about 2 weeks ago I released Road to Bowser. It's a Mario song. I released it for Mario Day, March 10th. And it's doing pretty okay. But the version I'm talking about isn't on YouTube anymore. I initially uploaded it, I went for a drive and listened to it, and I literally started having a panic attack because the mix was that bad. The bass was just overpowering and booming and just really muddying up the mix, and it sent me into a panic attack. And I was going 60 miles per hour down the road, shaking, and it was miserable. I got through it, obviously, I'm okay. I hadn't checked my mix properly, and that's kind of what I want to talk about today. I have ADHD, so it's hard to focus and it's hard to remember things sometimes. And that's probably why I have both a music channel and a gaming channel. You know, just so if I lose interest in one thing for a little bit, I can go and do, a little more work on the other thing. I'm not saying that that's a great strategy. I am able to cross-promote, but that's just how it is sometimes. And obviously I've been on a bit of a music kick. I think I've released like 6 to 8 songs in the past month or so, which is, pretty high output for me personally. I need to slow down a little bit, but it's also just, I'm trying to grow. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy this video or if it helps you in some way. But yeah, back to the ADHD thing. I forgot to check my mix, and as a result, I was not happy with the mix. I felt like I was disrespecting my vision of the song as well as the original version of the song. So yeah, don't forget to check your mixes on multiple speakers, multiple headphones, your car speakers, just wherever you can. And just make sure you're satisfied. It doesn't have to be perfect. This isn't a perfectionist thing. It just has to be good enough for you to be like, you know what? That's all right. I'm a little impatient because, I want the channel to grow. So I definitely need to work on that. Another thing I want to talk about is kind of, being in and out of depression. I want to assume that it's like this for most people, but life is kind of in waves. You have these ups and these downs. And, on these ups, maybe you can produce a whole lot of music, and on these downs, you're stuck in an 8-bar loop. So maybe if there's not much you can do about that, you just have to ride that out. On the highs, really crank out your music, really be paying attention to your arrangements and your mixing. And then on those lows, just crank out as many 8-bar loops as you can. Another thing I don't do enough is take breaks. I understand grind set mindset, but I really need to work on this one because it's very important to 1, go outside and get some fresh air. 2, adjust your eyes, take in some sunlight, but, just look out a distance. If you have some trees a little far away in the backyard, really try to focus on those. If you're in a city and you looking off of a balcony, don't look down. Just don't do it. But just try to focus your eyes away from the distance of yourself and your screen, I love making music. I love producing. I love playing this keyboard, even though I'm not good at it yet. I love mixing, and I love arranging. I love sound design, even. But sometimes I'm just not good at focusing on it, or I might forget some little details. So I guess the only other thing that I could recommend is a checklist. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. But I can imagine if you're checking things off a list, you're getting serotonin from that, right? And then everything you need to get done is hopefully getting done, and you're able to focus more on music. And, using the checklist in music could be like, okay, right now I'm doing creative things. Right now I'm playing the sounds out, feeling it out, arranging it, and then you might get into objective mixing, which means you're making the right decisions to make everything clear and concise in your mix. If you want it to be, maybe there's something more in the background, a little more wavy, you know what I mean? I guess that's my advice to all of you that might have a hard time remembering every detail that goes into making a song, because I struggle with that completely. All right, so that's it. I just wanted to get this out there, and let me know in the comments what mental hurdles you have to go through to make music. Remember to like, remember to subscribe, and y'all have a damn good one.